time for panel discussion on the topic, the real meaning of yoga. I feel privileged in welcoming our guest. Our first guest today is from Norway, Ms. Ingunn Hagen. She is professor in Department of Psychology, University of Trondheim. She has done yoga teachers training, coaching training. She is a clinical psychologist, PhD in Mass Communication Media Studies, University of Bergen. She has done many research projects like Hippocampus, promoting mental health and well-being among young people through yoga, yoga for employees, yoga and mindfulness in school, and many others. She is International Advisor, Europe International Seminar, Ujjain Yoga Life Society, member of International Association of Communication and Research, member of International Association of Media and Communication Research, member of European Communication Research Association. Her recent publication includes the Oxford Handbook of Digital Technology and Society, Oxford University Press 2020, Yoga for Psychology Wellbeing in Modern Life and Context, Revitalizing Audiences, Innovation in European Audience Research, London, Yoga in Human Life in a Digital Age, Yoga, and many more. She has attended many national and international conferences. Our next panelist is from Kenya, South Africa, Nyamwathi. She is an advertising creative writer, creative director turned yoga professional. As an experienced internationally certified yoga teacher with over 1,000 hours teaching experience, she has been practicing yoga for over 18 years. She teaches in Anglophone East Africa and Francophone West Africa. Her styles includes intuitive Vinyasa flow, alignment-based hatha, office yoga, restorative yoga, and yin yoga. Each of her classes incorporate a holistic approach to yoga using breath work, pranayama, meditation, mindfulness, energy work, massage, and aromatherapy. She is also a certified kinesthetic and Reiki therapist and has a Bachelor's of Arts in Psychology and Philosophy. Nyamwathi's vision is to be a healer and a teacher in service to others, helping transform and restore physiological and psychological well-being through the gift of yoga. Today in the panel we also have with us Ms. Anna Galovicova. She is founder and chairman of Slovak Indian Friendship Society and coordinator of the projects. As director of Mental Health Center in Liptov, Jakubovany, she has been leading training for the psychophysical and psychospiritual awareness. She has developed the relaxation and stress management training methods. She has been running yoga courses in many towns in Czechoslovakia since last 52 years. Dr. Anna is also a chairman of Slovak Anti-Poverty Network and executive coordinator, European Anti-Poverty Network in Brussels. She is a co-founder and chairman of Parliament World's Religious Slovakia. Grace Min Zhou from China. She graduated in applied mathematics and became a full-time yoga teacher in 2009. She has explored therapeutical, physical and metaphysical dimensions of yoga in India, combining her learnings with the traditional Chinese practices such as Tai Chi. Grace was initiated to Birthlight's simple, holistic and highly efficient approach in 2012. From 2014, she regularly organized Birthlight teacher training courses in China. Grace works with multiple Shanghai postnatal centers and maternity hospitals to support women in the pregnancy, birth, and postnatal journeys. She is co-founder of Udisa Biocentric Society and Jeshe Yoga. Today's panel discussion will be moderated by Dr. Vikrant Singh Tomar, convener United Consciousness. Dr. Tomar is an acknowledged trainer, academician, scholar, writer, and a management consultant. He is a freelance trainer and served the cabinet ministers of state, MLAs, police officers, and tycoons of the business world. His aim and objective is universal brotherhood and happiness through harmonizing the knowledge from the ancient scriptures into our lives. So I welcome all our guests for panel discussion.
Good morning, friends. Good afternoon, good evening from whichever part of the world you are watching us. I, Dr. Vikrant Singh Tomar, on behalf of United Consciousness, welcome all of you. I welcome Dr. Anna, Dr. Ingunn. I welcome Ms. Grace in this panel discussion of the real meaning of yoga. As told by MEG from European Yoga Federation, she said that yoga is everything, but everything is not yoga. And we have seen later on that yoga has been reduced to mere stretching. So everybody has their own understanding of this divine wisdom of yoga. So to begin with this discussion, we acknowledge your presence also, Nyamwathi Ji from Kenya. So to begin with this discussion, I would first like to have a quick remark from everybody of you. What is your definition of yoga? Because you have lived your life in yoga and you get wisdom from your own definitions. So how do you see yoga? A quick remarks. I will begin with Professor Ingunn. What is yoga for you? The topic of discussion is the true meaning of yoga. How do you see yoga? Quick remarks.
For me, yoga is a tool for human growth, to become a better human being. It's a way to develop skills. It's a holistic way of life.
Thank you very much. She says it's a holistic way of life, and it's a tool for well-being. I'll come to Grace. Grace, how do you see yoga? What is yoga for you? You may need to unmute, Grace.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, you're done. It's done. Carry on.
I'm kind of nervous. So for me, yoga is a way how to, a technical approach to find my inner happiness and how to connect with my daily life. Also, how to connect with other people and also explore myself and also help the others find the way into their inner happiness. So it's a very holistic. It's the body and mind and emotional. So it's kind of a way to healing ourselves. Yes.
Perfect. Thank you. Grace mentioned that it's the connect between mind, body, and emotions. Connect with self. We'll be very happy to know your remarks, Dr. Anna. What is yoga for you?
For me, is yoga as was for my professors during totalitarian regime, materialistic regime in previous Czechoslovakia. And my professor at Charles University told me when I informed them as a 17 years old girl that I wish to study psychology because I study yoga. And he told me yoga is top of psychology. You must learn also statistics, biology, and that time I didn't understand his sentence, top of psychology. But now I knew very good that for me it's not yoga way up, utan, some zigzag way, 4 steps up, then 2 steps down, fall down, but really it is this top state, psychic state, and I am very happy that we can together help each other move up and reach this top state of mind.
Dr. Anna said it's the top of psychology. It's the culmination of psychological understanding. That's amazing. Thank you. We have Nyamwathi Ji. How do you perceive what is yoga in your definition? How you saw it?
I see it as this, well, I have the same view as all the other wonderful panelists, and myself having a background as a psychologist as well as a yoga instructor. First and foremost, yoga for me has been a key instrument in bringing parts of oneself that are in conflict together in harmony. And if you look at how we operate in this world, a lot of us have inner conflict that then manifests itself as conflict between interpersonal conflict. And then that manifests as social conflict. And yoga is a tool to bring that conflict that starts with the self into harmony. We're walking around not fully self-aware and not fully having that safe space to see who we really are and embrace who we really are. So the practice the holistic practice of yoga, because in the Western world, yoga is mostly just seen as the physical asana, but the holistic practice, the pranayama and the meditation and the yamas and niyamas, practicing all of those together brings one into full self-awareness and into a point where they know how to self-improve and how to become a little bit more united with who they are.
Thank you. So Nyamwathi ji said that it's removing inner conflict and creating harmony with self and surroundings. Thank you very much for a quick initial remarks. Now let's enter deep into the topic, the real meaning of yoga. So to begin with, let's begin from the beginning. So as I say, begin from the beginning, let's begin prenatal, before we take birth on this planet. So I will come to Ms. Grace from China. Grace, you are an expert of prenatal yoga, and they say that labor without pain. So would you give us an idea how this prenatal yoga works, and how can we, Lord Buddha said that birth is dukkha, it's a pain. So how do you work with yoga, prenatal yoga? Quick remarks from you about it. What is the science and philosophy of prenatal yoga? Over to you, Grace.
Could you say it again, because I didn't hear you well?
I'll repeat again. Yes. Kindly tell me about the philosophy and science of prenatal yoga.
Okay. So we think the prenatal yoga and also birth and postnatal yoga is a continuous process. It's women during the pregnant and birth and postnatal is a continuous process, and the women so basically there's women become a new mother, and then to welcoming the babies inside the belly and then come out. It's a continuous process, but for their transformation, so they from mom to be and become a new mother. So they have a lot of things to deal with, and the body changes, and also the mind changes. Also huge shift for them during the birth. So we use the prenatal yoga to help the women, to support them to go through the transformation during the pregnant and labor, and go through the birth. Also, we use a different technique. We use the breathing and also grounding practice, and pranayama and the asanas for the pregnant women, and also the relaxation or different technique of the Ladha yoga sound practice to support the women to release all the stress, or give them, also ask them to find the affirmation, because the Nyama once said, there's a lot of conflict inside, especially women during the prenatal time and go through the transformation time. They have a lot of conflict, because in this special time, when we were in our mother's tummy, the experience also during our childhood time, all the things we go through, when we get pregnant, we give birth, come to the labor or come to the post time, all the experience we did, all the traumatic things we experienced, it's become more obvious, and then the conflicts become more stronger, or stress become more stronger in this time. So basically, the women fight. Sometimes they fight with their identities. They want to be mother and they don't want to be. So there's a lot of conflict. So we prenatal yoga and really to help them. And so basically, it's like self-healing and also self-improvement. And with also
carry on, yes, Grace, carry on.
Also help them to use the 8 limbs of yoga to help them to be to not harm themselves in thoughts, also in the other physical things, and to be nice to them, to self-care, to self-love, and to go bound better with the babies. And then
we understood from Grace that, thank you, Grace, I said that what we understood from her points is that a conscious birth leads to a conscious life, and a conscious life leads to a happy life. And prenatal yoga helps you to be grounded through pranayam, relaxation, remove the trauma, as she also mentioned. And as we also understand, that child mirrors the thoughts and psychology of mother. So keeping mother relaxed, otherwise child will also mirror the trauma of the mother. Thank you very much, Grace, for giving valuable inputs. Now I'll go further. Once we are born, as Grace mentioned, that even before your birth, you should be exposed to yoga in the womb itself for a better life. Now I'll go to Professor Ingunn. You have done lots of research on students. So how in further years of life, after birth, when students come to the colleges and different facets of life, how yoga contributes, what your research talks about?
The research that I have been working on recently, the Hippocampus, which is a research project to promote mental health and well-being among young people, we find many aspects of yoga that is important for young people. For example, it helps them to deal with their emotions, because youth is a very emotional age, emotional roller coaster. But also we found that they emphasize, the young people, very much how yoga allows them to relax. Relaxation becomes very important. And it's like they're very stressed, many of them, because there are so many demands on them from school, from society, from peers, from social media. So yoga allows them to relax, and being relaxed is more feasible to go inwards, to pay attention to who they are, what they feel, how they think, what's going on in their body, what's going on in their mind, what is going on in their soul even. So it's really a great tool for a lot of young people. And I wanted to say something. When we talk about the meaning, the real meaning of yoga, as yoga practitioners, as yoga scholars, we have ideas about what is the real meaning of yoga, like classical yoga, holistic yoga, with emphasis on yoga philosophy. But, people are maybe exposed to yoga at different ages for the first time. So like for young people, yoga can be play and fun. For or children especially. And then for young people, it's a way of exploring themselves to cope with stress, especially also among professionals that I have also interviewed. It was a very good way to deal with stress. For elderly, for example, it could be a way to maintain health, to maintain a balanced life, flexibility. So I think also through different stages of life, yoga can have different meaning for people. Mm-hmm. And sometimes people in the West, especially who are exposed to what someone will call the plasticized version of yoga, where it's too much focus on asanas, a lot of people start there. But if they have good teachers, if they are exposed to more yoga, they will find different aspects of yoga important. And they realize that yoga is not just the asanas. It's all these yamas, niyamas, pranayama, meditation, focus. It's all of these aspects, and it becomes a way of life. So yoga, different stages of life for people, and whether they are beginners or more advanced, it will have different meaning. And maybe the yoga teacher is trying to convey something else. They think they know the real meaning of yoga, but then people are receiving it in their way and interpreting it. So I think in a way we have to be patient with people. When people start with yoga, then they are starting on a path, and their understanding of what is real yoga will change. Especially if they have good yoga teachers.
Yes, yes. Thank you. Professor Ingunn said that it carries different meaning for kids. It may be play and fun. For youth, it may be exploration and removal of the stress. You may begin with asana, but certainly you need to transcend later to reach the real meanings of yoga. It's about emotions, relaxation, and going inward. Thank you very much for sharing your research. Nyamwathi ji, you work with corporates who come to you for getting peace of mind and mind, bodies, the soul synchronization. What do you think people who are working in corporates nowadays, working in different facets of life, how yoga is helping them and how it can help them? More specific answer can help our audience to understand how they can be helped.
Okay, so I'll come back to my original point on conflict. So especially in the corporate way of life, we're finding ourselves just worldwide living in operating in a very sedentary way. This is naturally or directly in conflict with our natural way of being, which is movement-based lifestyle. So you find people sitting at a desk for endless hours, and while they're in their office, there's a lot of interpersonal conflict that comes up, i.e. politics at work. So the corporate sphere has a lot of these different actors and these different points of conflict. And now what I've seen in the offices that I have taught yoga in, and also in my own yoga practice, before I became a teacher, I was working in the very competitive, very hostile industry of advertising for over a decade. And what I found within myself was when I had a solid regular yoga practice, and that went above and beyond the asana, but to all the other 8 limbs, I found I could keep myself centered and not be swayed by the waves of hostility that were happening, within the political sphere of the office. And I find now when I'm teaching offices, there's a lot of, especially in different industries, like the NGO industry, I teach a lot in that offices around there, and in the advertising, corporate advertising and marketing industry, a lot of politics, meaning a lot of people are mentally not feeling secure, and they're always in a fight or flight response. So I find when I teach in these settings, I'm enabling or empowering the students to know how to switch off their sympathetic nerve response and switch on their parasympathetic nerve response. And this goes into, first of all, stabilizing things like their blood pressure, their blood sugar. There's actual physical manifestations of this that go to their overall physiological well-being. But more so, they're able to center themselves and their mental well-being so that the effects of stress, so that they respond to the effects of stress differently. Right. So that's generally what I found is the biggest impact of the stabilizing effect of yoga in corporate world.
So thank you very much, Nyamwathi ji. She said that corporate life has become so sedentary, lots of politics. So it is important to remain centered. That is the result of yoga, activating parasympathetic nervous system. That also helps you to control your blood pressure. So many aspects yoga can bring home. Now we'll go to energy. Dr. Anna, you have been a practicing psychologist also, psychiatry, also you studied. So my question for you is, people say that yoga brings peace of mind. How does it happen? I want our audience, because we are receiving questions from different places of the world. People want to know how yoga can bring mental peace. How it brings, actually.
It's a very important question because our nature is be not stressful, but peaceful. And we live such way of life, which is strange to our nature. And that's why we are too much unbalanced and too much involved in the world and so on, by outer sense organs and so on. So too much confusion inside, but the greatest confusion in our phenomenon or in our life is done because there is we are not born as complete and self-realized beings, but we should progress not only horizontal level, that we should network, meet each other, communicate, and create one world, one happy, peaceful family, but we should move also upwards on the vertical level. And it is mental and psychological development, which has also some steps and stages. We know, for example, Patanjali model with 8 limbs, and 8th degree is samadhi, enlightenment, and in this state we are completely peaceful, mahashanti state of mind and the state of consciousness. So, but to reach highest level, we should know how to progress on vertical level, or how to develop mental and spiritual development. And that's why we should now, and I am very thankful to United Consciousness Society, focus also on this vertical level, on this highest state of mind, which bring us peace, which bring us better use of mental potential, of mental capacity, and remove many kind of problems. Because when every person is on another stage, somebody is really maturated, somebody is at the beginning of maturation process, psychic process of maturation. So there is a great confusion, because one see not only yoga but other kind of problems with his point of view, another with his point of view, and even only in the highest degree, when we are really enlightened, we can now understand and harmonize other people. So my short answer should be is that we should now really help each other progress on the stair up.
Thank you. Dr. Anna said that peace is our real nature. Yoga helps us to remove confusion, because we are not born perfect, but we are born to for our own evolution. So we should evolve vertically also, instead of only horizontal evolution in this planet. Thank you very much. And she also mentioned about 8 limbs of yoga that leads to Mahashanti. So the steps we need to follow to get peace in life is those 8 limbs of yoga. Now I'm going to ask a very practical question from all guests. Whole world is watching us. They want to know 2 tips from everybody of you, what they should do from tomorrow onwards, instead of that, today onwards, for their own better being. So we'll begin from Grace. Grace, you put people into so many practices in prenatal yoga. So you may please brief us about only 2 suggestions, what people should practically do today onwards for better being, for well-being. 2 practical tips from every guest. So let's be very concise. Everybody will have 2 minutes around to explain 2 practices. So we'll be very happy to receive from you, Grace, 2 practices for holistic well-being.
So like a practical practice, like
yes. You can mention it. Yes.
So I don't really understand your question. Is like a practical things or just words?
You can explain some tips for the people who for well-being. Yeah.
Okay. So like listen to your guests. So first of all, listen to your guests. So we can try first. So basically, it's help your guests make your guests have more awareness, and also function better as we are aging. Like especially in this difficult time, everybody have like a problem with our digestion problem. So for example, you have a lot of stress. a lot of stress actually from our organs, So that's why even for young people or for old people, and also because our organs, as we are aging, is not in the original place, it's go out of the original place. So the listen to the gas breathing is really help the organs go back to the place, and also help release the stress.
So just I'm sorry, I'm stopping in between. How to listen to your organs?
Okay, that's what we are going to do right now. So just close your eyes. So we can try, everybody close your eyes. So
everybody can close, just carry on.
So we can start from the oral cavity. We can, because oral cavity is very easy, put your two hands. Watch me, 2 hands, very gently here. Like your hands is the mother's hands touching the baby's skin. So listen to your oral cavity. Bring the awareness to your oral cavity. Every time you inhale, create more space for your oral cavity. Close your eyes, everybody, please. Exhale, release the tension from your oral cavity. Find your rhythmical breathing. And feel your teeth, each teeth inside your mouth. Feel your tongues from the tip of the tongues to your end of your tongues. Keep breathing. Imagine you are sitting in front of the table. There is food waiting for you. You are waiting for somebody to join for the lunch or dinner. You can smell the food. You can imagine the food, the color, and you can imagine how it will taste inside your mouth. You can imagine how you chew them slowly. Then you can feel maybe you can feel there's more things inside your mouth. Your mouth become more watery, and then slowly release your hands. I don't know if you guys can feel it.
Yes, I guess majority of the people who are watching must be feeling it. Actually, I am a time tracker also, so a part of my conscious self is also on the watch. So maybe
it's really helpful because a lot of people have dry mouth and a lot of tension on the face. Actually, a lot of tension is from our oral cavity because we talk very fast, we're under a lot of stress, and we eat food very fast. So a lot of tension is our oral cavity. If you do every day, it's really release your stress from your mouth, and then you feel your shoulders. It's really benefits from all your inner organs, all your digestive system.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Grace, for a practical exercise of it. I'm sure people will be benefited. She said, listen to your guts and talk to your organs like a mother talks to the child. We'll come to you, Professor Ingunn. 2 practical tips in 2 minutes to understand what people should do today onwards.
I think it's very important to pay attention to the breath and to what is going on, not only in the gut, but also in the emotions, in the mind, in the body. And meditation can be very easy and also very complicated. And very easy meditation for beginners is to sit down, maybe for just 5 or 10 minutes, and just breathe very slowly, close the eyes, sit in a very straight position, and then just pay attention to the breath. And make the breathing very slowly in, slowly out, and then pay attention to your breath. Don't try to control it, just notice it comes in and out of your nose. And this will calm you, and it's a good practice to do every day. And if you feel that you don't have time, you just take 5 or 10 minutes. You can always take that time out of your life, and it will have a great impact. Also, as human beings, we need to move. We need to move our body. And that's why a lot of the asanas are very good. And you can do some yoga on your mat or in your chair or wherever you are. If you're not so used to yoga, you can also move in nature. Just take some time to move your body. But after movement, and it could be any kind of asana, greetings to the sun, different kind of asana. But it's also very important after asanas or even after a walk in the woods that you take some time to just relax, be with your own self, be with your body, be with your breath. It's a marvelous way to start going inwards, to get into this parasympathetic mode that was talked about. So you learn to relax, and you go from relaxation to activity, and always pay attention to your breath. Those are very important steps.
Thank you very much, Professor Ingunn. She said that breath is the key, and we should focus on that. Start from breathing slow. Don't try to control your breath. Just notice as be witness of it. Do it initially 5 to 10 minutes every day. Do some yoga, have some nature walk. These things will help you in creating, activating your sympathetic nervous system. Thank you very much, Professor Ingunn. We'll have a quick remark from Nyamwathi ji also. 2 minutes you have to tell us few tips, practical tips people can begin from today itself.
So what I make sure I teach everybody in desk jobs, so corporate society, is number one, yes, pranayama, but there's a specific pranayama that switches off your sympathetic and puts you back into parasympathetic, which is where you want to be. And that is, if you inhale for a count of 4, you pause for another count of 4, you exhale for a count of 8, and you pause for a count of 4. So we call it the 4-4-8-4 breathing technique. And this ensures that, first of all, the exhale being double the length of the inhale allows you to completely switch your autonomic nervous system into a rest and digest response. So for any stresses you're going through, you can do this breath even while driving. You can do this breath at any point. You'll notice a shift within 3 minutes. It's an immediate shift. So this is especially important to people going through stress and anxiety. So that's practical tip number one. Number two is, as was mentioned, move the body daily. But I find especially movements that sitting down in, whether you work in an office or not, we sit down a lot. So certain movements are going to be even more important for the body, and that's back bending, so that we don't have any chronic lower back pain, hip pain that you find a lot of people are having. So lots of back bends and lots of twists. Avoid a lot of forward folding, because we tend to already sit in a bit of a forward folding, hunching position anyway. So if you're going to move your body, back bends and twists are going to be your friend and your medicine.
Thank you. Thank you very much. He said pranayama, exhale, count of 4, hold for 4, exhale, inhale 4, halt 4, exhale 8, and pause 4. 4-4-8-4. Driving or any part, it will help you to deal with the anxiety. Move your body daily. Backward bending will be useful. Have some more twist, it will help. Professor Anna, 2 practical tips in 2 minutes. What should we do from today onwards? You may need to unmute. Yes, carry on. Yes, it's done. It's done. Carry on.
Be silent. It means during the day, anytime we have any situation, we could be at least, we should be at least 1 minute silent. When we have more time, we can sit, now nice weather, we can sit and be silent and enjoy beauty of the world, beauty of the nature. It helps very much. Second, we should, we daily should decide many choice what to do, how to decide, make decision. So very good is psychic somatic connection. When we imagine, for example, I will go to the cinema, or I will cook dinner for my family, which feeling when I imagine going to cinema, a very nice feeling I have. It's better to go to cinema if I imagine cooking dinner and not so good feeling. So it can help for decision. Of course, there is many kind of decisions, but sometimes even if I imagine cooking and I see happy family members, so I decide for cooking, not for cinema. So psychosomatic.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Be silent for 1 minute and start positive imagination. It will also help you to be holistic well-being. So let's have a quick summary of friends. Professor Ingunn said that yoga is for holistic well-being and for mental health. It balances emotions, relaxes yourself, and help you for going internal. So it may be play for kids, exploration of and against stress for youth. So the tips she mentioned is pay attention on the breath, do regular meditation, don't control your breath, just notice it for 5 and 10 minutes, do daily, do yoga, nature walk, and it will help you to activate parasympathetic nervous system. Nyamwathi said that it is mindfulness and it is creating harmony with self, and your corporate life is so sedentary and too much politics, so remain centered. Try to, yoga helps you for activating parasympathetic nervous system, controls your blood pressure through pranayam 4-4-8-4. Move your body daily, backward bending, twists and turns, and that will help you to be better in life. Professor Anna said it's for mental health, it's the top of the psychology, and it brings you to the real nature, and your real nature is peace actually. So have vertical growth rather than the horizontal growth in life, and follow 8 steps of Patanjali for Mahashantim. And she said, be silent for 1 minute and imagine positive things. It will also help you. Grace mentioned about the prenatal. She said that it is a way of finding inner happiness, connecting with body, mind, and emotions. She said that it brings you grounding, pranayama, relaxation. It helps you to deal trauma. And from that way, your even kids will not face any trauma. So better to listen to your girls. Talk to your sense organs like a mother talks to the baby. Amazing discussions, friends. And I'm so happy. And I'm sure that people watching us from all parts of the world, we have registrations from around 50 countries of the world. They must be certainly benefited. Thank you very much. And please stay back to watch cultural events following us. Thank you very much, Professor Ingunn, Grace, Nyamwathi ji, and Dr. Anna. Thank you very much. Namaste.
Thank you.
Thank you.